This is the world's tallest and scariest roller coaster. They call it the Big One. It takes 1 minute to climb the 235 feet to the top. And then... But sometimes things go wrong.
That's 2 E-stops one after the other.
Today, the Big One has come to a stop in mid-climb. 30 riders are stranded 120 feet off the ground.
I'll let them know about the Pepsi.
What's an E-stop? What we call an emergency stop. The system stops itself. If it thinks...
It may have come into a brake too fast. It may have run out of a brake too fast.
The computer shuts the ride down.
Ride has temporarily stopped. Please remain seated.
What we want to do is to get that train off the top of there. That's the priority now, because it's not very nice setup there, is it? It takes time for the computer to reset itself. That's 2 on the trot.
It only stopped for 75 seconds, but that's quite long enough for the local media to sniff out a story.
Oh, Jesus, already? There wasn't a problem, Alan. Okay. Cheers. That was Radio Wave. And what's up with the Big One?
Blackpool Pleasure Beach is Britain's oldest and largest amusement park. With more than 7 million visitors a year, it's this country's #1 tourist attraction. A day out for the family can be a pricey business by the time you've paid for rides, refreshments and assorted souvenirs. Which is good news for the Thompson family. They've owned this end of Blackpool's Golden Mile since the turn of the century. There are over 60 rides. The oldest was built in 1904. Ever since, the park's designers have been devising new, high-tech thrills to keep the punters flocking in.
Give me a priority call, Pete Brown.
The man in charge is Jim Rowland, better known as JR. If a ride stops, the Pleasure Beach loses money. JR likes to keep things moving.
I don't want to close it down. If you've done it, you want to put it on, jump one in between. I don't want to pay out. I was born as a travelling showman. My family still travel on the bus company. So I've always been in it. I've been in the amusement park business now, 25, coming up 26 years next March, with this company. And I don't have any grey hair. And nobody can believe why.
The man who does have the grey hair is JR's #2, Keith Allen. They don't always see eye to eye.
What's your relationship with JR? How does it work?
I work for JR. That's it. End of relationship.
It's a love-hate relationship. He hates me, and I don't love anybody.
Hello, everyone. This is Alice speaking. Come along into my...
Later that morning, there's trouble in Wonderland. Keith Allen has gone to investigate. There's been a spot of bother with the pink Cheshire cat.
Is that it? Is that the bad one? Let's go and give it a slap. All right. We'll get it fixed in a minute. Come back on. Problem is, we've got the offending car back here and we can't see anything wrong with it.
JR has got wind of the breakdown. He's on the case to make sure that Keith doesn't dawdle. The ride is losing money.
Just get them off. I don't care. Get it open. Now. Just get it off. Repair it in the workshop. Do it now.
That's what we're doing. We're taking them off. Got to get them here first. Better to run with 5 than...
Yes, let's just get it running. And we won't disappoint all these customers, will we? As soon as you've got it in there, I want to know. As soon as you've got it all. The minute. Keith, go and tell them now to fill up the queue pens. Right. Mark it open. Just don't let the people in yet. Yeah. People have different ways of doing things, that's all. I think it's right to repair the car. Well, repair the car in there. Get it back on the road. Right, switch this off. Let's get it off. Are you taking the other one off? Yeah. All right. On the base. Alice is real.
My hero. He gets everything done a little bit quicker. Everything he did, I'd already sorted out, but it wasn't quick enough for him. So he shouted, and it made him just move a bit faster. So.
In the ice arena, they're putting another piece of machinery through its paces. It's preparing the surface for this year's skating extravaganza, the Hot Ice Show. The woman in charge is the owner's elder daughter, Amanda Thompson.
What's he doing?
She has a reputation for assertiveness.
John! That is a new machine! You've just spilled water everywhere, you've raced around, it's not a blooming, whatever that track, Silverstone. Idiot. What an idiot.
Amanda is not in the best of moods. Rehearsals have started, but she's still missing some key members of her international cast.
Problems with the DOE, the Department of Employment, because they've still held back on releasing some of my work permits and visas for some of my skaters that require visas, and so I'm hopefully get those passed this week and get them into the country.
Amanda's assistant, Marie, is on to the Department of Employment. She's after a work permit for a Russian star who's stuck in Moscow.
Hi, Alec. Alec, it's regarding Alexei Soloviev. I sent some more information through this morning to show that he'd been working. Can you help me at all?
Alexei has been coaching in Russia. The DOE is demanding proof that he's still an international performer.
Well, they won't have done a brochure for figure skating, coaching. Right, I'll have a word with him. Thanks for all your help. Bye-bye. They need some more publicity information to prove that he's been performing over there as he has done here, which is a nightmare because there's no ice shows in Russia at this moment in time, so all he's been able to do is figure skating, coaching.
The children on the Kiddies Amusement Park are entertained by Bradley Beaver and Baby Bubbles, the park's answer to Mickey and Minnie Mouse. It's shift work. Sharon and Mandy, two of the park's youngest employees, are kitting up backstage for the afternoon session.
When I first started to do it, I felt so stupid. I didn't think I would do it, you know, but then when I actually got on the park, it was all right because I knew nobody knew me anyway.
The heavy costumes are cumbersome and hard to see out of. On the park, the girls need a minder.
The mind is very important to me. She's my eyes, really, because I can't see a lot through this. If there's a little tiny kid in front of me, I can't see him. Really, if they're that tiny. Now, Linda will say to me, watch it.
Sometimes you just act so stupid inside and you dance around all the time. It's great fun. It's just something that, it's one of the best jobs in the world, I reckon, because you can have fun at the same time as doing your job.
Marie is bracing herself. She's got more bad news for Amanda.
Spoken to the DOE, and they said no. Well, basically they're going to say no. They won't accept his figure skating coaching.
Why?
It's not the same standard as he's maintained here in Blackpool.
I'm sorry. He's teaching.
I know, they said it's got nothing to do with being a professional.
What, teaching?
Yeah. And being in an ice show and skating.
Of course it has. What do they think people do? I think I need to speak to them. What do people do when they're not working?
Well, he said that he should be keeping...
Come on, answer the phone. Get me Nick Hawkins on the phone or Harold Ellison quickly.
Oh, please, the Conservative MPs for Blackpool South and Blackpool North. Quickly, get them on the phone. OK?
Unlike Disneyland, the Pleasure Beach doesn't charge people to come into the park. But once you're in, everything costs. A ride on the big one will set you back £4, while the other white-knuckle rides are £2 a go. On a busy day, they'll carry 250,000 passengers. To keep them safe, they run a strict routine of daily checks. JR is there to see they stick to it.
Come on, for God's sake! We'll get this bloody thing back up. Come on! Christ's sake. Let's ball on about, let's get it sorted.
It's hard work. It tends to overawe us a bit, and it puts you off for that split second you need, you know. But he's all right. He's one of the good guys, I suppose. Get him in the bar, he'll buy you a pint. It's not one of the lads.
Amanda's got nowhere with her MP, so it's back to the DOE.
There must be a way we can do this. There must be a way. Well, let me speak to them.
Just get the number.
He's worked for me for a few years here, and now they're saying that they're not accepting him being a professional performer. Those curtains need cleaning! The Department of Employment don't understand the world of skating, so therefore, if you're a nice...
Yeah. Do you want to speak to Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, I do.
You try not go too mad?
Yeah.
Hi, sorry, who's that?
I dreamed last night I was on the boat to heaven. Da 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 dee and where? Oh, we've not let Joanne in the circle.
Okay, that was left for the evening.
Left before 5 o'clock in the evening? The Department of Employment don't work after 4 o'clock, obviously. It's now 10 to 5 and I can't speak to anyone at the Department of Employment because they've gone home. I just don't believe this.
It's Easter weekend. Bradley Beaver is out and about amongst his adoring public.
Say hello to Bradley. Wave hello.
Are you pulling Bradley's tail? You're not meant to do that, you'll hurt him. No, don't mess with his buttons. Oh, big kiss. Ooh.
There are always a few who want to spoil the fun. They won't succeed if security guard Bill Mullin can help it.
Basically, we're all of a private police force. I dare say if this was the States, then we would be called police, but because it's Britain, then they call us security. We do everything, more or less, that a policeman will do, all in a confined space. We deal with everything from lost children to drunks to stag do's, hen do's. Every walk of life comes through here. Every bit of the country, all over the world, they all come here.
Hot ice rehearsals are well underway, but Amanda's still on edge.
The Department of Employment have definitely said no to Alex, so that's proved another great problem because that's a week now it's taken them to say definitely no. So we're still a person missing from the show and it's all very complicated to try and get somebody else in. Just one big headache, really. And that's how we continue from one day to the next.
Excuse me!
Bill Mullin's team has swung into action. Bradley Beaver has been assaulted in the children's park and they've spotted the culprits on the swamp buggies.
Right, we're on the top of the Tom Sawyer. I'll be there in seconds.
I think that's it.
Which one are you?
Yeah.
You get him in? Go for him.
That place down. They've given him a kick in.
Just let you all know, you're all under arrest for assault, all right? Right, we've got a witness that says you three lads have assaulted a female.
You've just been on the kiddie park and assaulted one of my beavers.
I am not about. Quick, yeah, you've assaulted a woman. I didn't assault nobody. You've assaulted a woman. I'm showing you now. Right, assaulted. Wait.
You're hurting my hand. I'm not
hurting you.
You are hurting my hand. So will you move that hand there, will you?
There you go. Got better?
No, it's not better.
In it.
Will you stop pushing me then? I'll get down to my solicitor about you.
Fine.
I'll have you sat.
It's not comfy.
The three suspects are banged up in the Pleasure Beach's own cells.
We're just waiting for the witness to come up, and then we'll call the police, and then once we've called the police, it's in their hands.
Wonder Base, give me TT with any patrols that are near the avalanche.
JR now has a real crisis on his hands. The bobsleigh avalanche ride has crashed, 14 passengers are stranded 25 feet up, and some are injured. Sandy, the park's own medic, is on the scene.
God, give me TT with patrol 4. Get there as quick as you can, and next time, bloody well answer me. Oh, wait! Get down to the bottom of the trough right away. Get those people out, will you? As quick as you can. Get over the cars. Little man, we've got to bring the people out this way, all right? No problem. By the time they come out, I want them to feel so assured that you can let them go on their own. We've had a car jump on the brake. We don't know why yet. We've got one young fella that's hurt, and we're just going up to reassure him to get him out. He's not trapped, but he's hurt himself just as the car stopped. He can sit there for 10 or 15 minutes, it doesn't matter, as long as he's okay in the end. We're getting him out now.
The injured boy is 11-year-old Kieran Eves. His mother waits anxiously below.
So everybody were running and everything stopped. So we just went to have a look and we just saw him stuck there at the top. Stomach's not stopped churning yet. A bit frightening, really.
I need to get out of the office when we start sorting these statements out and stuff.
At the cells, the beavers have come in to identify their attackers.
This is Sharon?
Yeah.
Right, so what have they done to you?
Right, they came up to me and they said, "We've got you now." And then they grabbed hold of me and said, "Are you a woman?" And my minder said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah." So they need me down there. And then they grabbed hold of me and started punching me.
Do for me, right. Just have a seat. Want a cup of tea? Oh, do them all booze.
How'd you take it, love? Milk and sugar?
Right, Tom.
No sugar.
No sugar, sweet enough. No.
Can't believe it. You can't, honest. They're entertaining the kids and then they get attacked. It's crazy. You know, no need for it to tell, is there?
Kieran may be able to walk, but he's complaining of chest pains. His father was sitting behind him when the accident happened.
As Ride was hitting the final bit to slow it down, it seems as though the front carriage has come off the track, so everybody, just like hitting a brick wall, isn't it? It just sent shockwaves through everybody.
Yeah, just follow on round the corner, please.
The shaken passengers from the ill-fated avalanche have been brought to the medical centre.
Are you all right, baby? You know what?
We were just going along and it just came to a sudden stop. The glasses flew off over the top. Managed to get them back. They landed on the rail, fortunately.
Be with you shortly. By the way, if anyone wants a cuppa after, we'll sort that out. All right?
In the treatment room, there's now real concern about Kieran's chest pains. It could be internal bleeding. He needs to get to hospital.
Okay. What about his mobile? Okay, bye.
JR can't get hold of the Pleasure Beach's owner, but Public Relations Director Helen O'Neill has rushed in from home.
Eric, have we had any media phone calls yet?
We've had none at this present time.
Okay. Have we got any injured?
Yes, we have. One has got suspected internal bleeding, one with a cut, and the other one with breathing difficulties. As I say, only 3 out of a full train, so consider ourselves very lucky, I guess.
Hello, Jim Rowan. No, Bert, I'm tied up at the moment, Bert. I'll get back to you. Cheers.
I need to go and have a look.
Well, I'm going to go down there with Keith in a minute now.
Okay, well, I'd like to come with you.
Right, let's go down there.
Is it on that curve?
It sure
so
is.
it's very visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello?
No, we're in
All right, buddy. You just keep that on there. Okay, just have a medic has a look at it. Okay.
The Beaver case is now in the safe hands of the Blackpool police.
Can you just tell me what you explained before?
I was in my costume and they all came up to me and started punching me.
Right.
And then this one, they asked my mind if I was male or female.
Just a second.
And they started hitting me.
No,
and then he put his hand on my helmet
Yeah.
No,
and started punching me.
No.
And then this one came behind and got my hat and my head and ripped my head out.
Thanks very much. You want to just clear out the way. Right, lads, you're all three going to be arrested on suspicion of assaulting this girl. After freeze, I'll handcuff you together and save you both being handcuffed individually. All right?
Sandy is putting names to faces using the souvenir photos taken moments before the crash. But there's only one thing on everybody's mind.
Sandy, have you called the hospital?
It's too early yet.
Too early.
I can try now if you want.
Well, just try. Just see if you can get any information so that we either know one way or the other.
Particularly young Kieran Eves. Young Eves is still in the receiving room.
Still in the receiving room.
The three boys accused of attacking Bradley Beaver are taken down to the station for questioning. They were later released with a caution. Accidents are bad news for Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but not typical. In fact, official figures show that it's 7 times more risky driving to the park than it is to go on the rides. The Avalanche was closed for 5 weeks for repairs and modifications. Kieran Eves was kept under observation for 4 hours, but then allowed to go home. He'd bruised his ribs, but nothing worse.
It was awful. Awful feeling. I wouldn't like to go through that ever again. I didn't expect anything like that. It was awful.
We're quite lucky that the whole thing didn't fall over onto the side, really, because we were only about 20 foot, 22 foot up, and we're off the track. So, like, we're pretty lucky, I think.
How long's on a rating?
Beach base, forward and over.
Yeah, you've been a bit unlucky today.
We were lucky, not unlucky. Lucky.
It's evening, and Blackpool Pleasure Beach is winding down after another busy day. But over at the ice arena, things are hotting up. With just 3 days to go before the new show opens, there's a technical run-through. And Amanda Thompson, the producer and the owner's daughter, is far from happy.
Oh, not like that! They have not blown these bloody flying things out high enough every time. What are they doing with us? What a mess!
Look at your positions, everybody, yeah.
It's stressful when you work on lights, costumes and 26 performers, all thinking they're going the right way when they're going the wrong way, and it's just pulling the whole thing together in the last week. I don't bully them, they just get tired and stressed, and I haven't had anyone storming off the ice in floods of tears, but I have. 2 days to go.
Not everyone comes to the Pleasure Beach for a good time. Susanna has just arrived from Portugal, but this is the last place in the world she wants to be. She's been persuaded to come here by a Portuguese game show that pays people serious money to overcome their worst fears. Susanna is terrified of heights. The host of the show is George. He's Portugal's Jeremy Beadle.
She's the lady.
Apparently, Susanna's mother volunteered her. She thinks it will help Susanna to overcome her phobia.
She's 20 years old. She's afraid of almost everything. It's going to be good. We'll see.
George's first tactic is to lull her into a false sense of security.
Ai, ai.
Ai, ai. Não tem problema. Também não é isto que eu lhe quero propor, Susana.
Eu não vou daquilo.
Susana, pois não, claro que não.
In fact, what George really wants to do is to get her on the big one, the tallest roller coaster in the world. He'll try to entice her on board with fistfuls of Portuguese escudos.
Grandes diversões.
Então não é?
Quem é que se diverte ali?
Toda a gente.
A Susana não vai ser, como já fez. Com o que para cá?
Another woman under pressure is Joanne Conway. She's one of the stars of the ice show and is having a last-minute crash course on how to light herself up with fibre optics.
The main thing you need to do is once you've got it on, just check, or even before the show starts, even better, is just check that you're going to light up, because that's pretty disastrous if nothing happens, because everybody gets this really big build-up and then no lights come on.
Although 6 times British champion, with 2 Olympic appearances to her credit, Joanne's rink record is a little shaky.
My nickname is Frosty Bum, because I used to fall over quite a lot, to say the least. And it's kind of stuck with me all the way through, and I even call myself it now. If my friends call and say, "Hi, it's Frosty," you know, and it just stays with me, and I don't mind it.
The British champion, Joanne Conway.
The last time that I actually skated in front of an audience was at the Olympics.
Unfortunately, it's happened again. And that's 2. Well, that was the double axel as well.
In '92, I was doing a double axel and landed and snapped my Achilles tendon. I've not jumped since I came here. I've never done a double axel since then. So it's a big thing for me, again. But I've been doing them, and Amanda's been really encouraging to me during rehearsals to, you know, keep going and keep trying it.
Susanna has finally cottoned on to George's little game.
Just wait a few moments, please, if you don't mind.
Operations manager Keith Allen holds up the ride so that George can bribe Susanna into the front carriage.
As soon as they're in, build a train up and we'll have to be quick.
Só vais ter que te sentares à frente.
Não.
Susana, mas ninguém te está a obrigar. A decisão é tua. Por 70 contos.
We're all here. Everybody listen and everybody concentrate, right?
After a gruelling rehearsal, it's time for a few home truths from Amanda and her choreographer.
We started off all right, didn't we?
Yes, Act 1 was better than it was. Act 2 was a total disaster.
It just fell apart.
And we might as well not have rehearsed at all for that. We keep seeing the same mistakes.
When we're going back and doing those 3 turns, where am I supposed to be, me and Eagle? We're stuck out on a limb.
Where you were set to be, because we had it right, didn't we, yesterday?
But we weren't set to be anywhere.
No,
going
darling,
backwards.
everybody is set to be somewhere.
Well, I wasn't.
No, but you line up with Natalia
We
and
are going
Alex.
through
This
it.
is probably the worst set of rehearsals I've ever had to go through. People are tired now and they're forgetting what we've changed, and I think it's a bit panic stations everywhere really at the moment. This week is just not a good one.
Susanna is still not playing ball, and Keith's getting worried. A grounded roller coaster is bad for business.
I've got to go. I can't keep it. Don't forget.
You got it?
I have to go. I have to go.
Yes or no?
Let's go.
We have to go.
Let's go. I have to go. People waiting. Yes?
Vai, agora.
Okay, okay, we go. Run! Come on, here.
Time for a final check of the onboard camera, there to record every shriek and grimace of Susanna's nightmare journey.
Sin problemo.
This is very good. Very good. It doesn't go upside down or anything.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
mud for that. How much money did it cost you?
About 500 pounds.
Oh, 500 pounds. Well, she got 500 pounds for it, didn't it? That's what, I think that's what made her mind up in the end.
It's the hot ice photo call, and they're behind schedule.
Have the hockey lights off! Hockey lights off! Someone turn the hockey lights off! Where are the smoke machines? Are they plugged in? Can I have the lights on the stairs, please? Can I have the lights on these stairs? Now, somebody please listen to me. Lights on these stairs, please, today.
If I left it to somebody else, it wouldn't be done exactly how I want it, and it has to be exactly as I want it. And unfortunately, people don't quite understand the word urgency. When I say now, I mean now, because you're keeping 26 people waiting.
Okay, well done, bravo. Oh.
While Susanna recovers, the TV crew check the tape.
Give the other shots. Yeah, certainly can.
There's a problem. The tape is blank. Not a single frame to entertain the viewers back home.
Keith, we're probably going to have to do it again because the camera didn't work.
Right, so we now need to go and persuade her to ride it.
Astonishingly, George has somehow persuaded Susanna to go round one more time.
We're all set up here. All we need for you is to tell us when you're ready, and then we can do this damn thing and get it over with.
Fasten your seatbelt and pull down your lap bar. During the ride, reach speeds of up to 85 miles per hour.
Okay?
Okay.
Right, do it.
3.5 times normal force.
Do it.
Please do not stand up. Hold on to the grab rails at all times. Do not wave your arms in the air.
This time, the camera works.
Pode levantar a cabeça, olha. Vamos subir agora. Agora tem que subir, subir. Subir. A parte que custa menos é esta. É que vai mais devagar. São 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Cricket, is it? We wouldn't do that sort of thing. We'd just say, would you like to go on the ride? No, thank you, I'm fine. That's fine.
Sim, já acabamos. Dá mais.
Não, vamos.
Já me tanto.
Time is running out. The hot ice show opens tonight. It's Joanne's last chance to practice that double axel. Every night's a big night for Jim Rowland. Known as JR, he's the man in charge. With up to 85,000 customers crammed into the 42-acre site, it's a big responsibility.
The pressure at times is tremendous, you can well imagine. A night like tonight's fairly heavy. There's a lot of people about. I'm worried about their safety. I'm worried about my staff's safety. Any minute, we'll get somebody jump over this fence into that pond. They think it's 16 foot deep, it's 2 foot 3. And we had it not so long ago, and he had a broken leg and he couldn't understand it. All that adds to the pressure. And a job like this, if you can't stand the pressure, you better get out. Get out of the kitchen if you can't stand the heat.
The heebie-jeebies are creeping in. Obviously, I want everything to go as well as it possibly can. So, we shall see what happens. It's been going well in practice, so... The worst thing for me that could possibly go wrong is that I fall in my solo. But I've been doing everything every day, so there's no reason at all why I should fall.
Before the show, to sweeten up the local worthies, there's bubbly laid on by Geoffrey Thompson. He's the Pleasure Beach's owner and Amanda's proud father.
Ladies and gentlemen, could you take your seats in the arena as the show is about to begin, and Amanda will be very annoyed if you're not on time. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Irish accent, male.
Security Supervisor Bert Atherton has just received a call from the Blackpool police. He needs JR to report in, urgently.
Yeah, hold on, I'll put him on.
Jim, I've had PC Humphrey on the phone. Bomb threat. Received it from a phone kiosk on Burlington West. That's near our car park there. Irish accent, 50 years old. No code. The words were, exact words, you have 3/4 of an hour to clear Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I have planted a bomb.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. The greatest show on earth is about to begin.
All your people out there?
All out.
Get a couple up on the overpass.
Yeah.
Till 1:30. We've got 45 minutes. So get 2 of yours up on the overpass station there.
7 Patrol 8, please.
And leave them there. Just in case. What's the King's Park number? 259. Bernard, we've had a bomb scare. Somebody's phoned in on the police. You can let your radio people know. They're not to put it out over the air. They're to keep their mouths shut. I am warning everybody just to go around and check in their own areas and whatever. Just do a quick check, and if they want to let you know everything's okay, do it by landline. Okay, cheers. Thank you, bye. Thank you. Bye. Bert! Where are you, for Christ's sake? That was the police. She's PC Humphrey. She's contacted her inspector. He's left it to me. I've told him we're not evacuating. We're carrying on. Hello? Cheers, Mike. It is a worry. Of course it is a worry. There's kids and families out there and whatever. But if we went to evacuate now, there'd be chaos out on that front. We'd want 50 police here to help us. Sure. And people would start to panic and run. There'd be more people killed in the brush to get out. And I don't think it's real, so. Hello, Jim Rowland.
JR's seen it all before. He's had other bomb scares with no code word, and he's pretty confident it's a hoax. But it's a tough call. He's ordered radio silence and put security on full alert.
I could be wrong. Of course I could. And there's a lot of people out there. And the worry is that if I've called it wrong, a lot of people will get injured. That won't be basically my fault because I didn't plant the bomb, but don't worry. Of course I am. But I don't want anybody in here to see me worried now because they all think I'm calm and collected and whatever. That's what they're supposed to think. Bert's here.
That'll settle your nerves, JR.
What nerves?
Oh, of steel.
There are nerves backstage too. Joanne's solo is next. It's the moment of truth, the double axel. At the ice show, all is not lost. Joanne's costume lights up perfectly on cue.
I'll give it to our pass. And that's it. Clock watching's a terrible thing to do. I don't do it very often. But I do it tonight. What's going through your mind now? Has JR got it right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's going through mine too.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody has to do it, mate.
And don't forget, I'm in here, but my staff's out there as well as the public.
Ah, you only got 4 or 6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've got about 1,200 of them right there. And about 15,000 people.
Come and fly with 387, with 13, 13's now chased all the way by 9, 7, 11 and 4, 8, 6, 8, 15 on the far side, but he's number 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Seconds. Will you put a call out on the radio system? All radios may now stand down. Okay? Put that out twice. Cheers.
fell. But there you go, the show went on, didn't it? I was nervous, very nervous at the beginning. But, I mean, I got through it and I did all right. I tried, I failed, but I still went on.
I'm looking at it now thinking, thank God I got it right. But it's very lonely sometimes, as you saw.
School's out and it's high season. Blackpool Pleasure Beach is heaving with families and children. They may not look very threatening, but security guard Bill Mullin isn't taking any chances.
Body armour.
The man in charge of the park, Jim Rowland, reckons Bill is overtooled.
He's got more pouches on there than Batman. I mean, he has, honest to God. One day, you will see him on the Tom Sawyer Bridge, take this thing out of his utility belt, throw it across, it'll sling around on the Big Dipper, and he'll swing across the river. Because he has it all.
He's calling for assistance now.
But today it looks as though Bill might need his utility belt.
Excuse me.
A Barney has broken out in the kids' park, where a man has been spotted punching his wife. An off-duty policeman has stepped in to sort it out.
Yeah.
Who's hit who? These two battling, I mean, I saw this guy hit the woman pulling her hair.
Yeah.
So I saw him do it twice. I thought, well, he's going to beat her up in a minute. So I walked across to try and sort it out.
Yeah.
And as I came across, he started punching her. So I just tried to stand between him, and all his brothers were telling me to go away before I got hurt and all this.
What's his wife like? She wants to press any complaints?
No.
She's not?
Right.
But there's domestic harmony at the front gate. Pete and Julie have just got married, and they've come to the Pleasure Beach to celebrate.
Congratulations.
Operations manager Keith Allen will do the honours.
Congratulations. Can I get to kiss your bride? Yeah. Right. Terry! Terry!
The man accused of beating up his wife has not left the park. They're together again, but they're both refusing to leave. They claim that two of their children have gone missing.
You're looking for the two lads? Right, well, once you find your kids, can you leave the park, please?
Just give £10 a piece for bands.
We'll get the money back.
Yeah, we've just give £10 a piece for bands.
Well, can I not ask her where the kids is? I've got a little lad missing.
Yeah, well, if you give your own money back, we'll leave the car.
What's the problem about that?
Get the details of these kids. We'll get it put out on the air.
Right, do you want to write the details down and I'll sort it out? Sir, I'm a gypsy.
Right. Just explain to him who you lost and what they look like then.
Andrew.
On my way.
And sailors.
Yeah. What's it?
Sailors.
Can you spell that, please?
No, sailors. Can't read and write. That's his name, sailors. One Andrew and one sailors.
Yeah, what? We've got a surname?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smith.
Smith, thank you.
Pete and Julie want to launch their married life with a glass of bubbly at the top of the world's tallest roller coaster, the big one. Keith has let them jump the queue.
Pressure 3.5 times the Earth's normal force. Please do not stand up. Do not wave your arms in the air.
I'll be right. Okay. I'll see you at the top. Okay.
Security have been given the runaround. The so-called missing children have reappeared.
There's one.
You've got one.
There's two.
You got them? Two.
Yeah.
Right. Let me come with you. We've got your kids now. Your kids are back. Yes. Right. We're going to let you stay on the park. Right. But I don't want another call back down for a domestic violence again.
But there's no domestic in it. Where's the domestic?
Anyway, we don't want another call back down. Or next time we'll have to leave. Right. Thank you. Have a glass of champagne. Have a glass each.
235 feet above the fray, they've stopped for the toast.
Congratulations. Some confetti. Who's in charge of the confetti? Right.
I think it's absolutely marvellous. Something different that they will remember all their life. When I think of my wedding, all prim, and all this is so exciting, isn't it? They are mad, but it's nice mad.
Congratulations. Okay?
We'll see you at the concert.
We'll see you down there somewhere. Look after your missus. All right. See you later. See you, boy.
If Pete and Julie want to start a family, help is at hand. Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum of the Weird and Wonderful is preparing to exhibit 2 fertility statues from the Bowley tribe in North Africa. They're said to be powerful magic. Public Relations Director Helen O'Neill is on her way over to discuss the arrangements.
These fertility statues, ladies that want to have babies, touch them and suddenly miracles happen, and ladies are sending in things from all around the world, and the staff who unpack the boxes have got to keep gloves on. And
the statues have been on a world tour. Apparently they've triggered off 307 pregnancies so far.
What we're doing then? Where are we up to?
We're still looking at the 5th of May.
Yeah.
Paul Stevenson is the manager of Ripley's, and Mike Brown is in charge of arcades.
What's the actual height of them? How tall are they?
But the size doesn't matter. So are your staff going to be handling them with care?
My staff have already refused.
Really?
To
We've got a boycott on. Yes, OK, sometimes you can be a bit cynical, but if all these genuine families and ladies are saying that after years and years of trying that they've got pregnant, then, you know, who can doubt it? Maybe we don't understand it, but I think it's a good idea.
First in line to try her luck will be Louise Stevenson, the manager's wife.
I do believe it, yes. Yeah, I do. Quite looking forward to them coming.
She was pregnant early on this year, and she lost it to ectopic pregnancy, so it is quite hard, really. You know, but everything's okay now. We've had the all clear and everything, we've got tests and everything.
We'll have to see. I mean, I'll have a go touching the statues and we'll see what happens then. Obviously, you need the male to help you.
Bill's had his fill of young males, especially when they've had their fill of drink.
How far behind me? Yeah, I spotted them. It's all right, thanks. How old are you? 18. I've just been
7th.
No. Too late. Thank you. I'll have them. Let it go. Let it go.
I mean, look at us, I'm going home, mate.
Right, go on then.
You just took my pint off me.
Yeah, goodbye.
I'm just going home.
Goodbye.
You took my pint. No, I mean, no, but can I see something in the camera?
Take him off the park.
Can I see the something in the camera?
Come on.
Yeah. That's what happened. Oh, shit. Come on, good.
How old are you?
17.
How old are you?
17, he's drove here.
I can smell it off you. I can smell it off you. You know idea on you?
Bill is close to the end of his tether. More young drunks have been throwing their weight around.
The ride operator witnesses spitting on a young girl for no reason whatsoever.
I did not know what...
Sorry, off the park.
No, I don't know what... I don't know what...
Don't get nasty.
I'm not getting nasty, but I
Come on then, towards the gate, please.
I want money back.
No.
No, I want my money back.
Are you not leaving the park? You're refusing to leave the park?
Yeah, I am, yeah. I want my money back.
Can you just move out of the way, please, folks?
I want my money back. No.
Stand there.
All right. I'll go.
What?
Please, I'll go.
You're going to leave?
Yeah. All right, but what happens?
Come on, lads, out of the way.
What about money?
Sorry, but you're not getting your money back either.
High hopes for Richard and Schnorbitz. Today, the fertility statues are due to arrive. Tracy, one of the cabaret showgirls, has been asked along to add a touch of glamour to the occasion.
307 people have written back to Ripley's and said they've been pregnant just from touching them. And some of them claimed that like the male fertility statue actually like grants them their wish by like they see him move towards them and like grant them their wish of pregnancy. So don't go near them.
Couldn't have happened at a better time, could it? You know, no success yesterday, so straight after she meets the fertility statues, I'm hot-footing it down back to the stud dog, and let's see if it works.
To heighten the drama, security has been told to take special care when handling the statues.
You ready, guys?
It's a big day for Louise and Schnorbitz.
You two lads grab the bike.
Daddy, come out.
Now, are you going to touch these?
Well, that's not for me.
Be a bit of a joke, that, wouldn't it?
Geoffrey Thompson is the owner of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. If there's any publicity going, Geoffrey's always on hand.
I'm not touching it. Oh.
Very, very interesting. This is what the war in the Congo is all about at the moment, I suspect.
John, just grab this one here.
Oh no, she doesn't like it.
Do we do silly things? Do we do silly things? Oh, that's lovely.
I'm not having sex for 6 months now.
And as soon as the statues are erected, Louise makes a beeline.
I'm really enjoying it. It's really therapeutic.
Is it really?
It is. Yeah. When the statues arrived, I wanted to touch them straight away. So I went and touched the female of the baby, and as soon as I put my hands on the head of the baby and the legs, my stomach really pulled in tight. It was like, oof, connect. There's something definitely about them. Definitely. When you touch her, I don't know, especially if you want a baby, I think she brings some sort of magicalness into it. There's something definitely in it. I do believe it.
We've got an announcement going out for a little boy who's lost on the park somewhere. He's all the way from Manchester and he's wearing a stripy t-shirt with Kids Club written on it.
The real biggest problem here with families is that they tend to lose a lot of children. Well, actually, we don't get lost children. We get lost parents. The children always know where they are because they're in Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The parents then end up panicking because they're not sure where their children are. And I suppose in the course of a day, like today, we'll probably handle about 20, 30, perhaps even 40 lost parents. Not lost children, though.
His full name is Matthew Thomas Busby McAvoy.
We've got a parent in guest relations, or two parents, lost a child, been lost for an hour. I'm just going down to see if I can help. Usually we find them very quick, but when it gets on an hour, you get a little bit worried about it. Especially with what goes on today in the world, so.
I saw him go past and I shouted and he turned round, and as I went round to go to him, he was on his way to see her and her granddad. And when I looked, it just gone.
So you just lost sight?
Yeah, just didn't see him again.
5-year-old Matthew, his big sister and the baby have been brought to the Pleasure Beach by their grandparents.
Okay, it won't be long, lads. We've just got another check, okay?
Thanks.
Grandad is sent off to help security, while Grandma stays to fill in the details.
Does he know whereabouts he's staying in Blackpool, or just a day trip?
We've only just come. I've been picked my husband up from the golf club and we've just said we'd take him out to surprise him for a treat.
Right. So you're on a day trip?
Yeah.
Ripley's quest for the unusual, the strange.
The fertility statues are now on display, but the public seems a little wary.
Does anybody want to touch them?
I don't have kids as it is, you know.
Would you like to touch those statues? Yes? Oh, we've got to take her. Go for it. There you go. Would you like to sign our guest book just so that you touch them? Good on you. Yeah, you do it as well.
40 minutes later, there's still no sign of Matthew. As Grandad and security guardian Patrick check the park yet again, JR begins to fear the worst.
Check that lake. You know what I'm looking for, don't you? Well, you know we've lost a kid for an hour, don't you?
There's a lot of water to check.
Has he got any friends or relatives in Blackpool or anything like that?
No.
Has he any money in his possession?
No.
The baby represents the importance here, the mango represents fertility, so we're suggesting that you touch them both together.
Yeah.
Little wish, and then actually 308 women actually pregnant after touching this.
Well, I also because I'm on infertility treatment, so keep your fingers crossed.
Excellent, go for it.
Mrs. Johnson has come all the way from Chester just to touch the statues.
I had lazy eggs and they weren't going to the proper size, so they put me on the drug Metrodin, which you inject yourself with, and this was like our last chance before waiting for IVF. And then I said to my husband, we've just got to go to Blackpool. I was really minding the life out, but we've got to go. It got so bad though, I was walking past shops and there was prams with babies in, and I had to stop myself from going up and just walking away with the baby. It was so bad. Been married 15 years.
Married 15 years. We've done the partying and the discoing and the
holidays.
I think now it's just
the icing on the cake, isn't it? Our own little person, our own little human being. So if it works out, I'll let you know. Keep your fingers crossed. See ya.
Ian and Grandad have gone to check the car park, but it's a long way from where young Matthew was last seen.
Yeah, we completed a full sweep of the logs we made. It's all clear.
Right, thank you very much for that.
Patrol to the base. Patrol to the base, priority call.
Go ahead, Patrol 2 with a priority call.
Thank you, TT Patrol 1.
Yeah.
We've found them.
Come here. It's all right.
We have found them. Grandfather and grandson reunited, both tearful.
On the base, we found it. And we are just about to reunite them all together.
My nana left me.
She didn't leave you.
She did.
Well, where did she go? I didn't leave you. I was in there as well. And you always think, you know, somebody just bloody... I mean, you shouldn't think like that, but how you think of all sorts, don't you? I just thought somebody might have just grabbed him, you know. Honestly, all sorts go through your mind. Unbelievable.
Good idea, mine, wasn't it, then?
Oh, sweetheart.
Yeah, there you go, see?
I'm looking for you. You're a clever boy, anyway, providing the car.
We never, I mean, they were all around here, but I mean, they wouldn't
I
know
thought I
they'd
said
gone
to
over
him,
there.
I said, go back and check the car.
Yeah.
Funny feeling.
Yeah.
He
I
might know
never
where the car is.
dreamt of him knowing.
I
When
did.
he'd been here.
Clever boy, aren't you? Finding your way to the car.
I was praying that he'd come back and crossing my fingers and everything. I thought, oh, he might have gone this time because... he done it in Tesco's, but he went to the toilet and they did it in Morrison's. He did it in Morrison's and he's done it in Quicksave and he's done it in the Armdale, but he found his way back because he knew we were at the shoe store looking for some trainers for him. I'm just going to the toilet. I'm just going to the toilet, Nana. She didn't even hear him.
Here he goes, the hero of the day. Or the villain. Okay? Okay. You're welcome. All part of the service.
Thank you.
All in the day's work, I suppose.
8 weeks later, and the Johnsons from Chester are back.
Hi.
Is the manager around?
The manager?
Yes, Paul.
Yes, he is. Just 1 second.
Hello again.
Hiya.
You all right?
Do you remember us?
Yes, I do, yes. You all right?
Yes.
Nice to meet you again. Got any good news for us
Yes.
yet? We have?
Yes, it's due in February.
Oh, congratulations, well done. I bet you're proud as punch on it.
Yeah. Can't believe it.
What did your friends say when you told them that you'd come down to touch the statue then?
A lot of them were like, because we've tried so long. Like, oh yeah, believe it. And you go, well, yeah, somebody told me.
6
Can't
years
believe
is
it.
long enough time, isn't it?
I'm convinced it was the dolls, convinced of it. Show them the pictures. And that's
a little Johnson. That's the head. That's the body and the 2 legs, 2 arms.
And the circle on the side of it is the yolk that it's
feeding
off. The top
circle is the yolk that the baby feeds off. There was a girl walked down the street yesterday with tight white jeans on, and I looked at the pram she was pushing. I couldn't
Usually
believe
look
it.
at the jeans. That's a nice pram, though. He's totally changed. He's a new man, aren't you?
The lads in the pub will love that one, won't they?
Yeah.
And a quick wish. Right, in a go.
But Louise is still waiting for the magic to work for her.
Not there. Thought it would have happened. Hasn't. No, I don't know yet. I'm kidding you on. We'll wait and see, eh?
I'm starving again. Would you believe? A big toffee apple dipped in chocolate and then some chips.
Linda Johnson gave birth to Todd Howard Johnson. Mother and son are both doing fine. There's a force 6 gale blowing off the Irish Sea, and Blackpool Pleasure Beach is taking the brunt. It's a particularly ill wind for the big one, the world's tallest and fastest roller coaster. Park manager Jim Rowland is on his way over to get things moving.
There's really a major problem with the wind, only from when it's from the west. And it's today directly west. So somebody has to make a decision whether we run this damn thing or not. And I'm afraid on days like this, it's down to me.
At the park office, staff are still clocking in.
Come on in, John. Your torches on your table.
Operations manager Lynn Satchell has to make sure that all the rides are fully staffed before opening time.
I am getting a bit worried now. It's now 10:15. They're supposed to be on the rides for 5:30. And I've got 92% of my staff still not here. We've had 7 50th birthdays for mothers. We've had 8 deaths of grannies. Last year, actually going back to last year, one lad buried his granddad, the same granddad, twice. He forgot he'd done it early on in the season.
In the control booth, they're keeping a close eye on the wind direction and speed. It's a westerly, and the needle is hovering just below 50 miles per hour, the critical point. For the test run, they load the carriages with sandbags instead of people.
What wind speed have you got?
45.
Well, send the damn thing then. Let's get the bloody thing going.
We are doing.
When it gets to the top, give it me again, or just before it goes over the top, just in case you've got to stop it.
Copy.
Once the train goes over the top, gravity alone will carry it back. A 50-mile-an-hour headwind will slow it down and could even stop it getting home.
45. 47.
I'll be filling my trousers around about 48. Slow.
45 and bouncing.
Bouncing to where?
50.
Oh, you nearly gave me a coronary then.
Come on, you big Mary.
What's up?
It's just not making it very well.
The wind did slow it down, and the train didn't make it up the last rise.
Get up there, get it pushed out, and let's get the damn thing open. There it goes. No, it isn't. Keep pushing.
Yeah, we stopped.
You shouldn't have stopped. I view it as the most complicated piece of equipment we've got in the place, and it has to be treated with that respect. And sometimes it beats me, and I don't like it. But it ain't going to do it today, because I've made up my mind.
The fun center of the universe.
With the big one down, it's important that every other ride opens on time. Lynn's out chasing latecomers.
Right, well, we've got a busy day on the park today. I've got a charge on Paul Smedley. Not turned in yet, so I'm going to the Argosy. It's a hotel on the corner here that puts up staff. We have a certain amount of people that are late every day. The post medley's one of them. We're having a problem. We need the cars going. We've got to get him in. Right, this is Mr. Smedley's room. Mr. Smedley, you're late for work, dear.
Oh, wow.
You're home. That's a no-no, that is. Nothing on his bottom half, and he's just popped out for the world to see. So I've shut it. I've shut the door. I can't be that rotten to him, I'm sorry. Come on, Paul, we need you, dear. Thank you. I know everything he has to know about you now.
Still Blazers is kicking out the hits.
Queues for the big one are lengthening. JR's decided to let it run.
Yeah, get the bags out. Come on, don't stand there looking at it. Just get them back, head away. Move right down, please. 2 there.
If the train gets stuck while it's carrying passengers, JR will be faced with an emergency rescue.
Got it.
JR's also got problems. At this time of year, the workers like to have some fun, at the management's expense.
The annual thing that usually hits me at this time of the year is masses and masses of soap suds put in the river caves. I've been trying for 7 years to stop it. And I have a secret weapon in my locker which nobody knows about. And I'm just going up now to see whether I need to use it or not.
His secret weapon is a liquid defoamer. It should get rid of the damaging foam which builds up when the staff pour detergent into the water rides.
Ah! Lovely. At long last, I've won. Keith, I love it. I've won after 7 years.
It's starting. You might be a bit premature.
It's like that this morning. Somebody's tried it, but they haven't been able to get hold of enough.
You put the anti-soap in?
Not yet. Got it stuck around the corner.
We haven't issued any soap from stores for 4 months. That's helped a bit, I think.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with myself now. My motivation is there for the day.
The day's still young, the day's still young.
I tell you what, God help you.
I remember who said that. Yeah.
The soap bandits have struck. The park's waterways are solid with suds.
We've been had. We've been got at again.
Where's that box of defoamer that was there this morning?
Prime suspect is Dominic, the foreman in charge of the river caves.
Not guilty, not me. Don't get my hands dirty.
Who did it?
Can't tell you, no lies. Don't know. It'd be somebody.
If I find out who it is, heads will roll over it, letting it out. One go. I'm in the river caves, Keith. I'm waiting for some more defoamer. Because somebody's nicked that lot. You found it?
Stopping them on the way out with it.
Peter, don't bring it. Pour it straight in. I'll win this one. Because I've got this quick. As you can see, it's breaking up now. I lost the battle, but I'll win the war. Every year I've had something different to counteract it. This is the best one. This is nearly instant. I don't think you need to put any more in here.
Dominic!
The high-speed Tocado Express has stopped halfway round. Lynn's arrived to supervise the rescue. They're only 20 feet off the floor, but it's too high for some.
It's okay, it's okay. All right. Of course you are. Come on, big boy. Your sister, your sister. You're supposed to be protecting her, not her, you. You're the big man on here. Of course you are. Come on, you're okay. Ready, centre base. Andy, it's quite important. We need some ambassadors ASAP down to the Takeda.
Just struggled on the top and it wouldn't go, you know, smoke was coming up. I'm just glad they got us down. I was all right, you know.
It doesn't look that high, does it? But when you sat up there, it really...
Well, it is.
One passenger seems in real trouble. She's hyperventilating.
I'll get the medic down. 37 to base. I think we may need the medic down. There's a woman asthmatic and she's beginning to have a bit of a panic attack.
The defoamer has worked and it's clear water at the River Caves ride.
That's the last of the defoamer. If anybody puts any more soap in now, we've had it. I don't know who's putting it in, but whoever it is has been at it all day, haven't they? There must be somebody that came this morning and is still here now. Could be like him. You. Who is it?
I don't know, Pete.
They must have put gallons and gallons and gallons in today.
They've got to them, haven't they?
Yeah. Because, I mean, we put a lot of anti-foam in.
That's got to be the last lot now, hasn't it?
What? The last lot going in or the last lot of anti-foam?
Anti-foam.
Well, we've got tons more anti-foam.
It's just like a war, isn't it, really?
It's a war that nobody's going to win.
It's a draw then, isn't it?
It's a draw. We're going to call it a draw then?
Yeah.
OK, then.
0-0.
It's a draw.
The Battle of the River Caves is over and the soap bandits have won. With no defoamer left, it's going to be a long night for Keith. The Big One is the world's tallest, fastest roller coaster. Disabled people are welcome aboard, but not in peak time.
Hi, there's 8 of us wanting to go on, but 3 are in wheelchairs. Can you help us out with access, please? You're saying that we can't go on the ride at all?
Not at the moment.
Why?
Because they're moving a train every minute.
They're moving at one train every minute?
Yeah, the only way that they could take them would be to shut the whole ride down.
Are you going to shut the ride for us to get on? You're not going to shut the ride for us to get on?
Just to make it clear, we're not being allowed on the ride.
Right, we're definitely not being allowed on this ride.
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Right, OK, thank you.
The system's set up to mitigate against disabled people again. So, what do you want to do, kids? You can't come on.
You're not letting us on.
The pleasure beach is owned by Geoffrey Thompson. He's a big cheese in Blackpool with strong views on local affairs. Today, he's got the council in his sights.
Is England thinking of abolishing the English tourist board? But Blackpool's thinking of abolishing the Blackpool tourist board. They're bad.
Geoffrey's bending the ear of a local journalist.
They can't give a reason. It's pure Moscow dogmatism, based on old-fashioned Stalinism that went out of date years ago.
Is he going to kill off tourism?
Yes! Well, Stalin didn't care for tourism very much, and frankly, nor does the leader of the council.
Put 4 in there, go right close, join the queue as far as you can.
Right into the turn.
Right into the turnstile, right into the turnstile.
The disabled group has decided on direct action. They block the turnstiles.
We're going to stand here and wait, and we're not going to let people easily get by. So once these few people have gone, they'll realise that we're not letting anybody on at all, and they'll start to react and do something about that.
The same group protested last year and were allowed on the big one when it wasn't busy. Now they're determined to ride whatever the time.
Roger, I reckon we come right round and block...
They're very naughty. The woman in charge is very naughty.
Park manager Jim Rowland has to find a way of coping with them.
Bert, this thing looks like it may get out of hand. I just can't slow this system down with 3 trains. I've told them we'll ride them at 6 o'clock. But they're not interested in that. Cheers. Bye. That's all I want today.
Unlike rival Alton Towers, the Pleasure Beach has no entrance fee. Instead, it makes its money by charging for the rides. To keep the cash flowing, they need to keep exciting the public with new thrills. The very latest white-knuckle attraction is a 200-foot high tower. Victims are strapped into seats on the outside and then hurtled skywards at 80 miles per hour. It's Jeffrey Thompson's baby, and he's first in the queue.
It's always fun going on a new ride, I must say. Being the first guinea pigs. It's, you know, fairly exciting and just darn good fun. Are we ready? What's happening? What's that going on it?
Primary people in here, please.
Right, OK, who are the primary...
The other guinea pigs with Jeffrey will be his son Nick and daughter Amanda.
Go next to the step. Quickly, because I've got to go back to rehearsal.
Yeah.
Don't get my spot.
Thing is, will we be smiling when we come back?
I won't. I'll be going.
The ride, sponsored by Sony, has cost over £2 million and boasts state-of-the-art American space technology.
Head against the back. Oh. Right. Are we ready? Is this meant to be tight? Here we go! Oh, is it going or not? Oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, what's happening?
Also going nowhere is the big one. The Pleasure Beach is losing money. The wheelchair blockade is keeping the public at bay, and they're starting to get impatient. JR's number 2, Keith Allen, hopes he can find a diplomatic solution.
It's not safe for you to ride.
Well, change your system.
You know the store. If you like to come back when it's quiet here, we can help you.
We don't want to come back. We want to come now with the general public like everybody else, please.
Jim, we need the police. They're sat on the floor in the turnstiles and we can't manhandle them, so the ride is effectively stuck.
How are you going to get them out?
Well, we need the police, we can't touch them.
This is a part-time disabled people. You run a system knowing that at popular times disabled people are discriminated from going onto it. These people are members of the general public. They've bought their tickets like everybody else.
All those people have paid their money, they've got their tickets. You're
We've paid our money.
You're depriving them.
We'll just have 2 trains on and I'm showing on the way.
I can't make you one when there's a 3-train service. And the reason I've explained, when there's a 3-train service...
Use a system that is fair to everybody. You know what it's about, Keith? It's about money.
That's what it's all about.
People don't matter. Get the people through and get the money off them.
I'm offering you to come back later on when it's quieter. We'll take a train off.
Totally irrelevant.
So that we can put you on in safety.
But why should they have to come back at a different time to everybody else?
Oh, we might be going. We might just be going. You can't look relaxed with your head back against the headrest. This is the trouble.
Here we go.
Ah, is this it?
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, what excitement. Isn't this fun?
Oh. No. Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Let's be honest, let's defeat them. I mean, at the end of the day...
Keith's colleagues have come up with a plan to foil the demonstrators. They're going to sneak the able-bodied public onto the ride by smuggling them round the back. Jeffrey's right-hand man, Rick Zeckman, has turned up to add a bit of muscle.
It's ridiculous. Can we obtain an injunction to keep them off the property?
Because I'm asking them to come back later when it's quiet, I'm discriminating against them.
I'm telling you, I have no time for people that break the rules to suit their own purposes.
That's what we're talking about here.
No sympathy.
It's a cat and mouse game. And talking of cats, here come the pigs.
20 minutes later, and the Thompson family show no sign of liftoff.
Right, are we ready?
Wayne's got his thumb up.
Oh, it could be it. It could be it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What anticipation. Oh!
Pleasure Beach people, they're not going to do anything unless I say so, all right?
police are trying to talk them into moving. If they won't move, I want them moved. And if the police will help us, we'll move them out of here. We've got to carry them, whatever we've got to do. He says to me, well, we'll have to move them. I've told him I've got enough men here. We'll move them.
We will.
I haven't do it today now.
Remove them from the park.
I haven't.
Welcome here.
We'll take them right out then through the gate.
Their behaviour is appalling. Yeah. It's aggressive and it's inappropriate, and they don't deserve sympathy. They're spoiling the town for everybody else.
I said that. I've said all that.
And we don't want them here.
The two police officers who to be fair, in the middle of it, have been speaking to me and Cheryl. Pleasure Beach have said they are not going to allow us on. That's no negotiation. But they actually can provide access for disabled people. They're choosing not to. That's more
right. So they're choosing
not
to.
That's how I perceive it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I see it as well.
They are acting on behalf of all disabled people. They are disabled activists, if you like. And I understand what they're doing. I don't appreciate what they're doing because it's involving me, but I do understand what they're doing.
Straight off the plane from Acapulco come the Mexican high diving team. The show starts tomorrow, but compere Roland Patterson has a nasty surprise for them at the pool. 40,000 gallons of water have drained away through a rip in the lining.
On Wednesday it was full, but when I looked yesterday, it isn't, so we think the water might have come back out again.
Fortunately, a new lining has arrived, but with only 24 hours to go before the first show, the pressure is on.
There's so much to do, and if we're going to be up and running tomorrow, it's going to be like a 3 o'clock in the morning job from my point of view to get everything right.
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm picking up that people that we can that we will disperse. Is that what people are saying or not?
Going back to Guest Relations South now to give them a cash refund for the tickets that they can't use. And then they're going to leave. Yeah. But in the meantime, I have to go and speak to my superiors and arrange some sort of meeting so that we can discuss this in more detail and we can find some sort of resolution because it needs to be resolved. Doesn't it? Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay, gents. Thank you.
So resolved,
No, but we've come to an agreement.
Which is?
They're going and we're opening. Get the sound back on. Get it all back to normal.
Jim, they're all clear at Guest Relations South and they've now left the grounds.
Copy that, Keith. Well done.
He said, well done. I've done something right.
The pool is now full, but the water is icy cold. With only 4 hours until dive time, Roland's got a problem.
Obviously, the boiler probably won't heat it up to a sufficient temperature for them. Is there any portable system that we could hire that would, help boost it up?
I doubt it.
Yes.
Are they suggesting they won't dive?
If it's too cold, they won't, because I suppose being fair to them, if you plunge your head into 12 foot of cold water and you've come from 7 to 8 feet, it's a bit of a shock to the system. Okay, what we have to decide is what we do. We have 5 minutes to make a decision.
Héctor, y comenzar ya sin parar, hacerlo ya todo bien.
¿Tú?
Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand the problem.
The high diver wasn't gonna be in the second round if the water is too cold.
I know.
And we try to do the show.
The show as fast as possible, okay?
Go.
JR, we're going to go for 1 o'clock. And then make a decision after the 1 o'clock show as to whether we can do the rest. Is that okay with yourself?
That's fine.
Blackpool Council continue to be a thorn in Geoffrey's side. They've allowed another company to set up fairground rides opposite his front gate. He is psyching himself up for a confrontation.
We have a sort of, I suppose you would say, a love-hate relations with Blackpool Council. They love us because we bring the people here, They hate us because they can't truly control us. And councils always love total control. That's the Sandcastle building, and the corporation have allowed all these tacky fairground rides right on Blackpool Promenade, which of course is completely against their own bylaws. But I suppose councils can break their own laws when it suits them.
The Mexicans are warming up for their first show. They need to. The water's still too cold, and they've had no chance to rehearse.
Have a good show. Thank you. And you? Have a good one. I'll see you downstairs. At the moment, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll do the introduction, and after that we just fly by the seat of our pants. I know roughly what's meant to happen, but hey, we could end up with egg in our face. But these guys, like, they're doing the dangerous bit. I just talk, and they just go. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the world's greatest high divers. It's their second season here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. For anyone who would like an unrestricted view of the show, we have seating in the grandstand.
Geoffrey has demanded an urgent meeting with the council leader. He wants him to take action against the rival fairground rides.
Is this really what you want to see copied around the town when you're trying to clean up the town, try and make Blackpool a more respectable place so we can get millennium bids and all the rest of it, and you allow, on the west side of the tram track, the most tacky fairground rides of the worst type? Honestly, you're letting yourselves down.
Obviously, it's your opinion, expressed very forcibly, that that's all tact and all the rest of it. I don't think it is.
Oh, you think that's what you'd like to see along the promenade in Blackpool? And you're very happy, Leader, with what you see there?
I thought this was a subject that had been well discussed, and I didn't think it was something we could usefully further discuss.
Well, you should be leaders of style, leaders of architecture, city planning, you know. You're not leading the people of Blackpool if you allow that around.
One member of the team will perform for you a high dive from 81 feet. The top platform, the one just below the flagpole, is the equivalent of 5 double-decker buses, piled one on top of the other. Ladies and gentlemen, could we have silence, please?
That forms the curtains of the sandcastle has got consent for leisure.
That doesn't mean you can put amusement rides on it without getting planning permission. You need planning permission. You also need, under the terms of your own Blackpool Corporation bill, permission from the town council to put any form of trading west of the tram track. You're breaking your own laws, Leader. You really are. You're expecting the town planner to be taken seriously in this town when he breaks categorically every rule that he enforces on anyone else.
No,
now, you can't do that with a straight face.
That is an outrageous allegation.
It's true.
No truth in it whatsoever.
Absolutely
it is
true.
not true. We break the same planning rules for the sandcastle as anyone else.
I find it slightly offensive. If they want to put something really nice there, I'd be delighted. Savile Row wasn't famous for one tailor's shop, and we don't complain about opposition.
So, very good evening and a warm welcome along to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Highlights tonight with the genuine Acapulco Olympic high divers getting the kit off this evening at 7:30. Don't miss out on the fun.
Blackpool's famous illuminations are on and the promenade is heaving. Every day, 85,000 visitors from all over the world flock to see the lights.
Yo-yo! Hardy lot of yo-yo!
The local peddlers seized the opportunity to cash in on the Pleasure Beach crowds. But they're trespassing on Pleasure Beach property. JR's having none of it.
I'm in. Get yourself and somebody else down with you. We've got traders outside the gates. If you can't shift them, shut the gates.
Get Joanne up!
So, mate, you have to clear this away from the gates. Just move it up.
Yo, one pound on the line up, yo-yo!
The problem is this, they're illegal street traders. They're selling cheap imitation stuff. People buy it outside of our gates, then come back to us in a couple of weeks and say, look, I bought this off somebody at the Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and it's a load of junk in it. It's rubbish.
Just move it I'm all night, you know what I mean? Get it shifted, let's go.
Yo-yo's a pound, pal. They know they're not allowed to do it, and they just know it's a game. We chase them off, they come back, we chase them off. It's just like a regular thing.
We're just out here to try and earn a bit of money, you know what I mean? We're not doing anything wrong. Multi-millionaire company, we can't even come out and take a couple £100. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden the gates are closed. Look at this side now, see how busy it was before. Look at it now. Shame, innit? Not moving nowhere. Cheers, Jeff. Muppet.
The divers limber up for the evening show.
Ladies and gentlemen, 81 feet.
But there's another problem. They're being dazzled by the laser pens that the punters have been buying from the traders at the gate.
Side of the main tower itself. On the main tower, there are 3 platforms.
Security man Nigel is on red alert. The street traders still refuse to leave.
Every time you've asked us to move for the whole season, the seasons before, we've always moved.
You've done it, it's starting to get a bit boring when I start asking you 10, 20 times a night. It just causes an inconvenience for the general public, which is what we don't want.
Honey yo-yo! Honey yo-yo, you like a party now? Come on, I want the money back.
To make things worse for the peddlers, some disgruntled customers want their money back.
What's the point in buying it and bringing it back straight away?
If I went to that shop doing this,
No, I'm not taking the yo-yo back, that love. I'm taking one thing, not Smith.
I'll wrap it round your bleeding neck in a minute, you cheeky little sod.
Them guys are trying to make an honest living and sign on the dole and draw social security. They're wonderful people. They take your taxes and my taxes and then sell that stuff and don't declare anything, don't pay any taxes, rob the people, and when the people come back, they're not here anymore. It's a wonderful system.
Nigel thinks he's spotted the laser artist.
Someone's pointing a red laser at their eyes, right? That's going to sustain an injury. We're going to come down, we're going to sort it out in the office, right? All right, don't come with us.
But there are other laser saboteurs at large in the crowd. Backstage, one of the divers is getting into his fireproof suit for the show's climax, the Human Torch.
This final dive you're about to see is a fire dive. A diver is being prepared who is having the cloak of his costume soaked in gasoline.
At Park Security, the laser suspect is held in the cells.
Right, can I just speak here? I'll tell you what your rights are.
It's my supervisor.
If you're in possession of this and you're actually using it, I don't care whether you shine me on divers, other public or whatever, I have the right to confiscate that until you leave these grounds. This is advice from the police. A diver diving from a height like that, and that hits him and disorientates him. Tragedy, tragedy, isn't it? Agree?
Well, no, that's cheating.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vito will now present the Human Torch.
It's really kind of quite emotional. I mean, it's a really silly thing to say, but it's like...
It's lighting up time in Blackpool and the busiest period of the year at the Pleasure Beach. But with the record crowds come extra problems. Breakdowns, drunks, security alerts, and now Jim Rowland, the manager of the park, has been called away unexpectedly because of an illness in the family. It's a chance for his deputy, Keith Allen, to prove himself.
I want to keep it neat and tight, everything ticking over, everything running at maximum, no big queues, because big queues don't spend money.
Not the best of starts. One of the boats in the river caves is stuck at the top of the final ramp. Passengers are stranded inside, and some of the children are getting upset.
Just stay here. Will somebody get the waders on? Pete, sort this lot out here.
Beach 19, David.
We're busy evacuating. I need water out of the track now. I'm in the Egyptian scene, there's no paddle on, and I'm paddling in it. Sorry about this, folks. I'm just going to stop the boat here and have just to step out onto the platform, please.
The Pleasure Beach encourages shooting, but only in the arcades. Today, a boy has been injured by a real gun.
Walking down the road, this guy went to my brother, give me a chain, put a gun to him, give me a chain, so my brother went, no, punched him, and they come up to me and shot me in the face.
He come up to me and asked me for my chain, so I said, like, no, you're not having it, so he pulled out his gun, so I hit him. I'm not scared of him, just a gun in it. He's going to shoot me, he's going to shoot me. I live in Salford, mate, it doesn't matter. I get used to it.
It was a brass cartridge. Something had been discharged from it, whether it was just the powder, which would be enough. Pointed close up in pistol form would leave powder burns and would be enough to split the skin.
After just 15 minutes, the River Caves ride is back in business. But now Keith's been called to another breakdown. This time, it's the monorail.
It doesn't happen when Jim's here. It'll all be my fault. I'm beginning to think it's not my day. And I'll tell Jim all about it and say, get away. He won't believe it.
The police have turned up to investigate the shooting. They're searching the area where the gun was fired to see if the weapon has been dumped.
What are you doing?
The engineers are now on their way to the big one, which has come to an emergency stop 235 feet up. Keith has to wait for the computer to run through all its safety checks before the ride can restart.
Probably about 2 minutes, all said and done. But it seems like an eternity, doesn't it?
Especially for the passengers left hanging over the precipice. The police inspector is not convinced by the boy's story and has ordered a body search.
5 today. The bottle's going. What's the situation, Paul, please? Copied, thank you. Thanks, Space 5 out. It's cleared, but the last one to clear is always the one on the pull-up, and that's what I'm looking at, because we don't want that to go till we've made sure that the other trains are safe, do we? Because once it's gone over that hill, it belongs to Isaac Newton.
The owner of the Pleasure Beach, Geoffrey Thompson, is looking forward to a visit from Baroness Thatcher. He wants children on hand for a photo call, but the local press are asking awkward questions.
Yes, I believe there's been some criticism in the local schools about us opening the park during term time and almost attracting kids away from school. But if that has been said, all I would say in answer was that if someone as famous as Baroness Thatcher comes to the town, it's an honour for the town. And I think, quite honestly, it's part of a child's upbringing to see the famous people of the 20th century while they're young. And if the headmaster wants to deny them that privilege, I think he's denying them part of the essence of Great Britain.
Lady Thatcher will visit Frontierland in Morecambe, Geoffrey's second park. It's normally closed at this time of year, but they'll open it specially for such a big occasion. The Baroness will be greeted by the park mascot, Frontier Fred. Public Relations Director Helen O'Neill and her assistant Sharon meet to discuss the Iron Lady's requirements.
That was Elizabeth. Lady T's press secretary.
Lady T's press secretary.
She's adamant that she must not be photographed or filmed walking into the Crazy Horse Saloon.
Well, I think that might have something to do with the fact it's called the Crazy Horse Saloon. Right.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Slaney.
The body search revealed nothing, and the boys were allowed to go home. The police failed to recover a weapon, and the case was closed. It's been a hectic day. Despite everything, Keith's kept the rides operating flat out.
When we get a day like today, when we've been at it for so long and we've still got a lot of customers on the park, we start thinking records. Now, it's early days yet, and I don't want to spoil anything or put the mockers anything, but I can feel it that we're going to do something today. I think today's the day that we're going to beat the best day we had last year.
There's a fracas at the North Gate, and security are holding the suspect.
He's gone into the restaurant there. He's obviously he's on something, we don't know what it is. Shut up, Sam!
They were being very offensive in the bar, and they were politely asked to leave, and they just went haywire. Threw a punch at me, and then he just went mad. You know, he was throwing tables and chairs, trays. He was just going for little kids.
Look, what are they doing that for? Why are they doing that? Why are they strangling
The suspect's brother is protesting. He claims there's been some unnecessary rough stuff.
Don't struggle to stay exactly as they are, do you understand that? They're what they call locked. They'll not get tighter, they won't cause you any more pain unless you struggle. You understand that?
Yeah.
For Keith to break the record, the rides must be kept going at full tilt. But on the Grand Prix, some young people have been taking it easy.
You're taking too long. Let him go. You come on. Hey, get him going. Whatever you do, they'll always join up again. So just let him go about 10 yards. Go on, off you go. Hey, keep going. Keep going. Come on. I'll come over there. I'll bash you. I'll bash your head in. Come on, keep going. They're very hard to press the accelerators, and the smaller children, the legs get tired, and that's why they keep stopping.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's stopping the ride. Got to keep going. It's got to keep going.
You sound like JR.
Well, he taught me.
Security have moved the suspect into a storeroom. His brother and mates are getting agitated.
You're not shutting his door, leaving me. You're not taking my brother in that room and leaving him on his own with you lot.
Right, listen, who's with him?
I don't trust him. That's my brother, please. I don't trust him. Look at him again, look at him.
Okay,
brutality by the police.
Stay down. Do you now?
Calm down. Oh, we have? Right, calm down. Get off me in. I'll stay.
Right, just move away and you'll be okay. All right, it's your first line and you won't last warning. Right, everyone, shut up a minute.
Keep it going.
Right, everyone shut up a minute. Oi, big mouth, come here. Trust him, nothing in his pockets.
Security guard Bill Mullin decides to let the brother in, just to reassure him.
Ian, Mark, that's all. Till later, yes? Yes.
Can you go back out now?
Yes.
You've seen your brother.
I just don't want you to sustain any more injury.
You're doing your job, you know what I mean?
If you sit nice and calm, yeah, lean against me, everything's going to be sweet, mate. All right?
Yeah. Will you do me a favour?
What's that, bud?
It's time to line off.
Oi.
I just have to keep going and keep going and keep going, and then somebody will blow a whistle and say, you've done it. I'm waiting to hear that whistle. It might not be till 2 o'clock in the morning. JR will be back next weekend, so whatever I can set him this weekend, I want to give him a real toughie, because he'll bust a gut next week to beat this week.
Eventually, the suspect was arrested and charged with public order offences. The final whistle goes, and Keith is called to the boardroom.
Well, congratulations, everyone, on the best day ever. Thank you very much. Cheers. Cheers.
The day's takings are over £500,000.
How did you do that?
I've been on duty now for the busiest day in the history of Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
JR can't say that, can he?
Cheers.
It's Geoffrey's big day. Lady Thatcher is on her way and he's chartered a helicopter to run him up the coast to Morecambe. Geoffrey did well during the Thatcher years. He expanded his multi-million-pound empire by buying 2 more amusement parks in Morecambe and Southport. The Baroness has agreed to visit Frontierland to help bolster beleaguered Tory support in the area.
She's certainly made Britain what it is today, and we're very pleased she is visiting us, and fairly proud too. She's been to see us in Blackpool a time or two when she was Prime Minister, but she's never been to Frontierland.
Security make final checks before the Baroness descends. Baroness Thatcher's bodyguards are on the lookout, but it's Geoffrey who notices a hitch.
Oh dear, the belt seems to be a bit wonky there. We can't have Frontier Fred's pants coming down. Not very good for political visit, I don't think, really, one way or another.
Back in Blackpool, there's a capacity crowd yet again, and Keith's record is up for grabs. His boss, JR, has returned. He's had a worrying time.
I had to go away. My eldest son and his wife work in Brunei, from Park that the Sultan of Brunei's built, and just had a little boy, my 3rd grandson, and he got taken very ill in 3 weeks, so I had to fly out, and hopefully everything's going to be okay, I'm hoping. And now I'm back, and we're going to go for a record day today.
But the day has got off to a bad start. The big one's playing up, and all 3 trains have come to a halt.
On the base. I'm going to have to pay out the big one. Starting now, we're going to evacuate the trains first, OK? I'm shutting it down till you can cure that fault, OK?
There are 650 paid-up punters in the queue. Not only must JR return their tickets, but it's policy to offer a complimentary ride as well.
Complete and utter total disaster for me, yes. It's not just the fact I'm paying out, but I'm losing what's coming in. And if it is this part that I think it is, then we've got to run at least half a dozen times with empty trains to make sure that it's right. So all in all, we're probably going to do in about an hour, if we're lucky.
When the Iron Lady turns up, she fails to recognise her host.
Mr. Thompson, can I introduce you? Mr. Thompson.
Very nice to meet you again. Very nice indeed.
We've been around your Blackpool.
You have indeed.
Yes,
you have on 2 occasions. Yes, I think it's a photo opportunity here, possibly. And then...
Right here next to Frontier Fred.
All right.
Okay. What do you think of Morecambe at the moment?
Well, I like it very much. It's very different.
At the big one, the engineers still haven't solved the problem.
You stand here and wait. But they know you're here then, so they work a bit quicker. They know I'm not a very happy man when I have to wait too long.
Lovely.
Is it a Eurosceptic horse, Lady Thatcher?
It's pro-United Kingdom horse.
That's right.
Despite the early setback, JR is playing a blinder. And by early evening, the park is back on track for a record-breaking day. But the bigger the crowds, the more work there is for security. Bill Mullin's been called down to the promenade by one of the shop managers.
Shoplifter. Or suspected shoplifter. What's he taking? A squirrel. Let's have a look.
Oh, that's what we are, yeah.
Is that it? Right, I'm arrested for suspicion of shoplifting, all right.
Well, I never shoplifted that, mate.
Can I say that a minute?
It's me. It's me, my house.
Right, fair enough.
I'll take you to my house and show you them.
OK. But right now, you're under arrest for shoplifting, OK?
For what? What have I shoplifted?
That squirrel thing.
We've seen him before and we know he's a shoplifter. And I was stood by a shelving unit watching the gentleman. I saw him pick it up and go out of the shop, and I called for Stanford Radio for security.
The all-season ice rink is the park's latest attraction. Suddenly, disaster strikes.
We've lost all the power on South Park. All the rides are down. Nobody's stuck anywhere, thank God. So, just need to get down there now with the electricians and see if we can sort out the problem and get the power back on. As you can see, it's all now in darkness. Bert, Wonder Base, get off the radio, Bert, I need it. Keep it closed for the time being. We've got a dead short somewhere, stripping all the system out, and the rides are going down, I'm paying out money, and I don't like it.
Bill's finally got the shoplifter banged up in the park's cells.
Certainly.
His supervisor is on to the shop manager.
It's Bert, security. I've been on to the police, right? Very, very busy uptown. They can't make it a priority at the moment. They'll attend when they can. I believe the retail value of this is £2 something, isn't it? £3. What if the person's willing to reimburse? Uh-huh. OK. We'll wait for them then. Bye. We're awaiting the police. So I'll just log it all up in the book now.
The shop manager insists on pressing charges.
Soonest.
Can I speak to somebody?
Log number. Always important, gentlemen. The log number.
Hello?
342.
Hello?
Stroke 97.
Can I speak to somebody? Right. What's the crack here?
I've told you before. You were arrested.
For what?
For shoplifting.
What did I steal?
I'm not prepared to discuss it anymore with you.
No, what did I steal?
I await the police's pleasure.
The power's still down on the South Park, so the only ride taking money is the diesel-powered Princess Royal.
Ride has temporarily stopped. Resume shortly. Please remain seated. Ride has temporarily stopped.
At the substation, the engineers are still baffled.
1600 amp.
What can be drawn anything extra?
The only thing that's different from last night is the ice plant.
I mean, I'll shut it down if you want. Yeah? You want me to?
Well, it might prove something tonight.
Okay. Beach 1 to beach 60. David, shut down, will you? Close up. Shut it off. I've got a problem somewhere. It may be you drawing too much power. I don't know till tomorrow. I need to keep the rides open.
JR thinks it must be the new ice rink that's overloading the system, and to test his theory, needs to shut it down. The police are now on hand to deal with the shoplifter, who's managed to pick up a couple of extra souvenirs.
What's that for? Turn off the windows up there.
That's my air freshener there.
So you just took that?
No, well, one was up there, yeah.
There should be another one as well somewhere.
Yeah, there's one here.
Right,
because
especially theft as well.
No, if they're trying to name me for stealing, right, I might as well get my money's worth, innit? Because I never stole that. I never stole that thing, mate, honestly.
Right. That's yours, so sit down. Wait till the van comes, got some transport.
No problem, sir. Can I get a light for you, officer?
There's no smoking in there, I keep telling you.
Right. Can I get a light when I get back to the station?
No, there's no smoking at the police station.
All operation managers that are on rides, we've switched all the power off now. We're going to try back on. I'll let you know as the rides come back on. We're going to try the cableway first, Paul. Do you copy that? Keith, you should now have power for the cableway. I'm now about to switch the Space Invader on. Any radios in the vicinity of the Revolution? Switching the power on now. Now switching power on for the whip. One to all radios, all power should be now back on South Park. I started this morning at 7:30. It's only now 7 o'clock. I haven't done 12 hours yet. By the time we shut, it'll be about 18. And hopefully we won't have another stoppage now this end of the park. But I'm still confident we'll do it.
So tell us all about it down when we get to the station, all right?
The squirrel thief was arrested, escorted to Blackpool police station and eventually convicted of shoplifting.
Hurry, hurry, hurry.
The crowds are still pouring in and takings are high. The park's accountants monitor the cash on the hour, every hour. JR rings in for a progress report.
Yeah. Is that up? On last week? Right.
Bastard.
Okay, mate. Cheers.
It's good news for JR. It's not yet a record, but he's well on course.
We're going to do it. Will it be the same or just above?
Not last year, last week.
Last week. We'll just be a bit up.
And we've
We'll
had
just
all
be
the-
a bit up above what you did.
Welcome back. Couldn't have done it without you.
Of course you could.
You right there, mate?
Fine, thank you. Hiya.
Gonna go and sit somewhere safer in case a car comes along?
Fine there, thank you.
Not you might be, but if a car comes along, you won't be.
If the car comes along, you'll go somewhere else, won't I?
I prefer it if you'd like go now.
Now, what do you mean go now? I'm waiting for the coach. Bloody hellfire. Listen.
You just want to go, maybe
I'm
sit
only
over
going to
there,
go over
alright?
there and sit over in the
Yeah, but
same
if you
place.
go and sit, like, over there with your back against the wall, at least I know a car's not going to come and run you over. If a car comes to park here,
Don't
he's
worry,
not going
mate.
to see it. No, I'm damn worried. That's what I want you to do.
I'm buzzing now. I mean, the pressure's been on all day. We've had breakdowns, we've had electrical stoppages, we've had the South Park out. The adrenaline's there. We're right. I should go to 1 o'clock tonight. There's nobody on the park.
He hasn't beaten me yet. He's going to get to 2 o'clock and then put the clocks back an hour and have another hour. I know what he's going to do. But it is rather busy, isn't it?
You're picking on the wrong people. Why don't you go and do something what you should be doing?
Because the next call we get is one where a car's knocked you over. And then you'll be saying to me, why did you let me sit there? So we're preventing it.
All right. You're pathetic.
Do you really want the night in the cells?
I don't want night in the cells now. What are you going to arrest me for?
Drunk and disorderly.
Breach of the peace.
I'll go out of the way. I'll go out of the way.
Fine, that's all I've asked to do. Stop arguing and please do it.
You lot the pillar, not me. I'll go out of the way. All
Thank
right.
you.
Good night.
Good night, God bless.
Don't you love people like that?
Despite everything, sadly, this isn't going to be JR's day.
I've just had some news that we're not going to beat the figure, I think, of last week. Keith's record stands, that's fine. It'll still be a good day, don't get me wrong. Just that we won't beat the record. That's unfortunate. But, as I said before, we'll live to fight another day, won't we?
Of course we will. We'll be back.